Ever ponder why certain males appear to with ease draw the focus of, it's not about appearances with whatever lady they encounter, status or wealth. What matters is how they men who are highly valued have a secret weapon, and contrary to what you may believe, women are made to miss words even when they disappear during the following several minutes. I'll explain precisely how. There are ways to talk to a woman that keeps her considering you for a long time after you've bid me farewell, so why pay close? 4 a.m. Emotional regulation and the influence of initial impressions focus, as this will alter the how you communicate with women. The strength of first will always come first. Impressions preparing the ground for enduring initial impressions of an attraction are the fundamentals of how men of great value build a sense of curiosity and longing. But here's the error most men make, is that they concentrate excessive focus on trying to win over a woman, immediately determine if it's through physical attributes, eye-catching tales, or tremendous charm. But high regard for men, understand that the first discussion is not about getting her to like you, but about making a faint but enduring impression on her. Remember, the true key is found in the way these men affect a woman's feelings, in that initial high-value interactions that males can comprehend, that women have considerably stronger emotional attachments, more sensitive than males. They can detect minute indicators such as body language, voice tone, and even the energy you thus project, how you conduct yourself. Prior to argue that just one word decides whether she will remember you long after the dialogue puts a stop to the unspoken words of self-assurance. Self-assurance isn't something, it's ingrained in how you can pretend to be, how you see yourself, and where you fit in. The valuable man enters any world. Circumstance understanding that he adds value, he moves with a straight posture, are thoughtful, and his voice is serene. He doesn't strive to speak quickly when he speaks, via phrases, or fill the space with each and every phrase he utters. Is this deliberate, leisurely pace accomplishes something strong, makes her pay for it. Pay attention when you talk slowly and clearly. Assurance, it conveys to her the subconscious state in which you are. Control and assurance in speech are not. It's not about being obnoxious or assertive. Women are measured and determined, innately drawn to males who lack the requirement to demonstrate oneself with each. When utilized appropriately, sentence silence can be one of your most valuable assets. Men don't mind taking breaks in discussion during a brief period of silence, which allows the woman to procedure that both reflects and truly internalizes what you just stated, produces she'll want to fill the vacuum and more. Most of the time, she will want to go on. The talk meant to make an impression. Women with emotional control are attractive, are conditioned to look for safety and stability in the project. High-value males maintaining emotional equilibrium by managing their responses if she makes a joke, remark, or a modest challenge directed at you. React neither defensively nor emotionally, rather. Admire men who are able to laugh about it, turn it off, or even make it fun challenge on their own, as evidenced by this: that you don't get rattled easily, which is extraordinarily alluring. Emotional resilience indicates your ability to handle press, and this is a crucial quality that women even unconsciously look for in a mate. Every discussion is a chance for a valuable man to display his emotional maturity, which is what's left behind an enduring impression. She will begin to respond when you don't, at 9 a.m. The unknown aspect, consider you to be a distinct individual who distinguishes himself from the group of individuals who are gregarious or quick to respond. In defense mode, you're cool, collected, and above all, music bold but nuanced movements that convey. High-value men don't require elaborate motions to be noticed, since they are aware of little deeds have a greater impact than words. Something as minor as your shaking style, the serenity in your voice, her hand, or your smile during her speech can have an enormous influence. Ladies read all the time, body language frequently, more than that of men discern that high-value males radiate warmth and control, using a tiny, determined motions, such as keeping an eye, demonstrating your attention by nodding in contact, or holding your hands relaxed at all times, twitching. The second enigma of the factor is an undervalued kind of contemporary dating, particularly in a society where individuals are used to excessive sharing on social media. Media elite guys are aware that disclosing necessary to quickly remove the thrill and curiosity from the women are naturally drawn to interactions. Items they don't quite comprehend, and that's precisely why a little enigmatic works, the psychology of "this is easy when you don't know something," or partially disclose the desires of our brain resolution. We become fixated with the items that aren't entirely obvious since we wish to ascertain their high value. Men utilize this to their benefit from the beginning. When a man of high value speaks, he offers just enough details to catch her interest. Curiosity, but not enough to make her happy. Inquiry, if she queries what you do for work, to which a valuable man could reply, though a little difficult, "I like it." That brief reply gives her additional inquiries, indicating that she will consider him reliving the exchange subsequently in her thoughts. Attempting to understand him, she'll wish to learn more, and that's just what causes her to miss him. Specifically, uncertainty in this situation is to be carefully consider your degree of ambiguity. Men of value do not shy away from inquiries. It's annoying that they employ ambiguity in order to continue the discussion. It's about giving just enough information, yet leaving anything not spoken, like if she inquires about your interests or pastimes, engaging in leisure activities, rather than enumerating every possible thing you could say. "I've been engaged in an undertaking that's quite fascinating. I'll tell you about it." Sometimes she wonders what it is, and her curiosity increases. Eagerly forward the upcoming discussion since she's excited to hear the tale. But mystery doesn't mean being elusive. Developing a feeling of depth is the goal. High-value males are aware of don't have to divulge every last detail concerning their life to create a woman actually more interested in what you withhold. The more details she adds to the gaps with her fantasies, and frequently her using your imagination will increase your more captivating than you could possibly create oneself by over-talking. Tactical. Silence is another aspect of mystery. Knowing when to avoid speaking in public talks, quiet moments, can some people find it uncomfortable, but it's worth it. Men flourish when there is silence. Allow the silence to create a little tension. If you're always completing the blanks that never allow her time to reflect about what she believes valuable men will, give yourself some quiet time after delivery, a really fascinating claim or query, these few moments. In addition to make you appear assured while also producing suspense, consider posing a serious or provocative query, and instead of promptly checking in, you allowed the stillness lingers. This stillness forces her to more fully digest the discussion, establishing a private moment where words can't supply. She'll keep that in mind, dialogue far more vividly as a result of was more than just a conversation. It was an feeling while playing the lengthy. Having patience when playing the game pays rewards. The secret is that it works best when paired with patience. You're not making an effort to lay everything out in front of you in the initial encounters with high-value males. Play the long term. They are aware of this. Often, a steady burn has greater force than rapid allure. By exposing only you hold her for a small period of time. Long-term relationship each time she 1300 hours. Effect on emotion engages with you. She'll be curious to know a little bit more, And since you're not revealing everything at once, she'll keep your thoughts about you in the interim gatherings, attempting to understand you. Better slow disclosure increases suspense and excitement that causes her to miss you more, so if you're not in the vicinity of mystery, keeps her returning with a need to explore deeper facets of your identity. The third set of words with an emotional influence are inexpensive, and anyone can put together a few phrases that distinguish high value. Men is their capacity to evoke strong feelings, sensations that each interaction contains. It's more than just what you say, about the feelings you arouse. Excellent value. Men are aware of women's emotions, animals, and the feelings you evoke in her throughout a discussion is much more significant than the information included in the. Men don't place high value on talking alone. Spend time engaging in small talk, since they may take a little turn at it to warm up the talk, but they soon switch to deeper, more significant conversations. They pose inquiries that get to the heart of what matters to her, what thrills her, and what sets her apart by doing this is that they cause internal emotional highs and lows. The discussion of this roller coaster of emotions, Coaster maintains her interest and commitment. Within the conversation with stimulating questions, queries among the most effective methods to produce a feeling experience is to inquire inquiries that cause her to reflect and feel. Men of value don't make petty inquiries. Inquiries such as which is your favorite hue or the location of your employment. Deeper inquiries such as what's things you're enthusiastic about. Most people wouldn't be aware of or understand the most thrilling action you've taken in the last year. These kinds of inquiries push the discussion that goes beyond surface level and make her consider her own feelings. By posing these kinds of queries, you're not just getting her to consider her personal encounters, but you're also fostering a feeling of unity. She'll believe you have a sincere interest in deepening my understanding of her. This is uncommon in the hectic world of today. This intensity of feeling in relationships develops a link, increasing her likelihood of missing when you are not present, using narrative with a strong emotional impact. Men utilize storytelling as a technique to affect people's emotions, although these aren't not simply any stories, but stories that are intended to elicit particular feelings. For instance, if you're working on creating a feeling of adventure, you may share with her. Describe a moment when you went on an impromptu excursion or attempted a novel and thrilling endeavor. If you wish to arouse feelings of vulnerability, you could tell a tale regarding a particular obstacle you overcome. Here, creating the story is crucial, reasonable and sensitive, as you desire her to experience something when she hears you out. Talk. It's not about trying to win her over with. Your achievements are about making a sentimental bond that she will long after the conversation concludes. While she muses over the later conversation, she'll consider how you did more than just tell her what to feel. Constructing emotional hooks and emotional a-hook is a point in the discourse that remains in her memory long after it's above. These hooks are made possible by a thoughtful compliment, a light-hearted teasing, or merely a few laughs together. High-value males understand how to insert these effective hooks during the discussion to make sure that she recalls them. For instance, you may give her a compliment that's distinct and particular, like the push-pull dynamic at 1600. I adore your enthusiasm for insert topic. You don't often meet someone who that caliber of passion. This type of praise isn't not about her appearance, but about her personality, which increases its significance. She will replay that praise. Later on, it will jog her memory of the joyful feelings she experienced during the fourth conversation. The strength of lack of comprehension of the push-pull dynamic, one of the most effective instruments. Men's high value is the push-pull dynamic. This is how to practice being emotionally open at that precise moment, then taking a step back and making room. High-value men later realize that nothing is ever too much, not even attention. Lessen its impact, so following a really interaction, they don't create distance since they're engaging in gaming, but since they understand the importance of space in. When a woman is absent, those are the chance to consider the. She begins to repeat the exchange in her thoughts, going back to how he made her. She starts to sense and gradually miss him. Here, it's important to avoid barging her with messages or continuous contact subsequently. Valuable men give her the breathing room to sense the absence of this emotional disconnect in his presence, makes her understand that she desires more. Why excessive contact ruins a good impression. In the era of instant texting today, it's simple to get into the regular communication, yet great importance. Men are aware that talking too much might be fatal. Appeal when you're constantly available, constantly responding to texts or messages. You quickly make no space for her to, "I miss you," no mystery at all. Without any emotional building or expectation, high-value men make the ideal equilibrium by not being overly accessible. They might postpone responding for a few hours, answer an SMS message, or they might let a day pass. Prior to contacting, it's not about being impolite or distant. Realizing that attraction is strongest in the interval between exchanges when you don't stare her down all the time. Has time to question who or what you're doing, you're dating, and the reason you don't text. This uneasiness in her back motivates her. Yearning to see you once more, the craft of high value, leaving her wanting more. Men end an exchange or discussion. She is constantly left wanting more from them. Don't prolong the farewell or attempt to. Continue the discussion when it's beginning to decline. Instead, they leave at a peak that sends her into an emotional high. Because of this, she anticipates the following conversation since she didn't understand all she want in that moment, say, following an outstanding 1830, picking up the purpose balance. Again talk, rather than waiting till you may say that the conversation stops. I would like to continue, but I have to run. This discussion at a later time is not only concludes the discussion with a favorable observe, that it also sows the seeds for future exchange, to which she will look forward to seeing you once more, and until then, she will be sad to lose you. Number 5. Resuming the mastery of the work of re-engagement timing is an essential component. All the steps involved in making that space she misses you because of how valuable males are. Thoughtful about the timing and method of re-enter her life, but time is crucial. Too much contact can stifle the appeal, but protracted waiting can make the emotional bond disappear. High-value men make the ideal equilibrium by getting back into it at the ideal the instant she has had time to think about them but hasn't progressed. Hence this calls for an excellent sense of timing, and men are highly skilled at reading emotional cues to assess when a circumstance calls for. The woman is eager to hear from them once more. Not only a casual WhatsApp message when they get back in touch, text, for which they might bring up a little excerpt from the previous discussion, lighting up the emotional bond once more that was developed in this kind of contemplative reprieves, demonstrate that you're not only contacting someone just out of curiosity, keeping up the meaningful conversation that started prior to returning to depth. High-value males don't re-engage when they return to casual dialogue. They construct upon the basis of emotional bond established. In their most recent exchange, they might mention a particular instance that was talked about, demonstrating that they were sincere listening and showing an interest in her emotions and ideas. For instance, if she stated that she was engaged in a project, you might wonder how that one is going. Moving. I've been considering what you stated, that this demonstrates your paying more attention to her appearance, or your curiosity in her fundamental responses, what distinguishes her check. This kind of reconnecting enhances the emotional connection and creates her likelihood of missing you even more when your absence indicates that you're thoughtful, kind and devoted to 1900 hours. Wrap up. How high-value men make her really miss you. Her personality, which is uncommon in today's dating market. High-value men aren't merely searching for fast, shallow relationships. They're creating something deeper, and women are able to perceive this, so them desire to remain. In conclusion, communication is linked. Men who are worth more than words know how to evoke depth of feeling, mystery and expectation in each interaction. They use language that makes an enduring impression by time and space for a woman to feel their absence. When they reconnect, they do so with intention, strengthening each other's emotional bond. By becoming proficient in these methods, you'll observe a change in how women reply to you. You won't experience the need to attract or impress ladies. In place of, will come to you naturally, captivated by the enigmatic assurance and the emotional impact you generate. And the majority of, most significantly, kids will miss you when you're not there, demonstrating once more how high-value men are attracted, not chased.